Hi, Lorena. Thank you so much for booking with me, and thank you so much for your patience. Mainly, thank you so much for your patience. I feel like past life readings are one of the things that take me forever to do, mainly because they require so much energy, and sometimes I don't got that. I do work a full-time job as well, but I'm glad I made it here. Anyway, so the way that I start my past life readings is I go into a little bit into astrology, not too crazy, because I used to go really crazy into the astrology, and that counted for a good 20 minutes of my talking. So I go into a little bit of astrology and I tell you why I picked out certain crystals for you. Do you need these crystals? Absolutely not. They're kind of just more for you to kind of get a feel of what I'm getting from your energy. And if you want to purchase them, I mean, by all means. I also go into, wow, this isn't even the deck I was supposed to use, but I guess this is actually like my after hours my after hours deck. Not really, but like they're for intuitive messages, which I'm not intuitive messages. I'm sorry. They're for spiritual messages that I will be giving you at the end of this, and that was supposed to be a surprise, but I guess it's not. And these are the decks that these are the decks that I'm going to be using. So I have security here too. So I feel like this is more of a safe space for you. I was going to start with this card, but I feel like it's finding your safe space. I feel like maybe you could be going through a hard time emotionally. And I'll tell you why. You're probably releasing old baggage, or releasing maybe even a person, but I feel like right now it's important for you to find your security. It's kind of important for you to find that safe space for yourself. I feel like maybe you could have been at war with your feelings, because I do get the imagery here of the person hunting. I feel like maybe you could have been at war with your feelings, and right now it's kind of time for you to take a step back and kind of come into that safe space of yours. So we'll get more into these messages later, because wow, that was really random. I feel like 9 could be a significant number for you. Especially when you're like changing and transitioning. 9 is a master number. It's the number of humanitarians. It's the number of spiritual wisdom. It's the numbers of endings and beginnings. It's the end before, it's the last number of the 1 through 9s in numerology, but it's also the start of the master numbers. So enough of numerology. Let's get into a little mini chat about your chart. So Sun in Libra. You know what I'm gonna tell you, right? So Sun and Libras tend to be kind of indecisive, and the reason they're indecisive is because they've kind of looked at all the options and they weigh out their options. So it can be kind of hard for them to make a decision because they've already seen all the options. They actually make great lawyers because they're very clear spoken, but they also see all sides of the story. Libras learn through relationships. Now, these don't only have to be romantic relationships. They learn through every single relationship in their life. So they tend to have a lot of them. Now, this doesn't mean romantic relationships. This could also mean a lot of friends, a lot of acquaintances. They're constantly going through that cycle because the soul is trying to kind of get as much experience as it can in relationships. Now, you have a moon in Aquarius, which I feel like sometimes to people that don't know you, you can kind of come off as detached. Moon and Aquarian people, we do not feel our emotions. We kind of intellectualize our emotions. And you have your sun and your moon in 2 air signs, 2 very overthinking elements, if you would. Not overthinking elements, but 2 signs that really like to overthink, is what I'm trying to get at. And I feel like maybe the challenge for you is kind of feeling your emotions and really feeling through them. And I feel like part of the reason that I got the pink Caledonia is maybe you have a hard time releasing your emotions because you tend to be so much in thought about them that releasing them is a lot harder for you, if that makes sense. Tell me, like, message me if it doesn't make sense to you, but I feel like, ooh, this crystal's gonna come in handy right now. But I feel like for you, it's kind of feeling through those emotions rather than intellectualizing them, because it's easier for you to let go of them that way rather than you thinking about a scenario 10 years from now and then crying about it 10 years from now. I feel like even though air signs kind of I don't feel like they dwell around too much in their emotions because they think about them. Their emotions can eventually catch up to them in the long run. It could be in a different relationship, it could be at a different point in your life, but they will always catch up to you in a certain manner. Also, with Moon and Aquarians, people that don't really know us tend to see us as very cold and very detached, when in reality we kind of like are very close to the people that we love. And I feel like with the Sun in Libra, this combo can be that you can either be seen as cold and bitchy and um even sometimes as rude, because I feel like Libras tend to tell it how it is. They don't hold back to kind of smooth people's emotions out. They kind of just tell it how it is, and that can come off as cold and detached, especially with the Moon in Aquarius. So I feel like finding your balance and also drawing boundaries, because when you have Sun in Libra, you can be overly friendly, not overly friendly, but overly giving, and it can be hard to kind of just draw the line. So I'm going to tell you what crystals that I picked today. So I picked, this is, what is this? Oh man, did I forget the name of this? It's not kyanite. Oh lord, it's tourmaline. Woo! This is like one of my favorite crystals, but this is black tourmaline, and black tourmaline is the crystal of psychic protection. It is just protection overall from negativity. Um, it's making sure that you are kind of energetically protected, and I feel like maybe you are highly intuitive and you kind of just, your energy is all out there because maybe you don't realize how sensitive you are to other people's energies, and you should probably start. You should probably, like, I feel like you should take a step back, and when somebody's complaining, somebody's overly complaining or being sad, or like a heavy emotion, take account of how that emotion affects you throughout the day. After this conversation, do you feel tired? Do you feel sleepy? I feel like that's them taking your energy, and I feel like you could be very open to it. You could be very open to kind of like this drainage because you don't realize like how much it actually does affect you. Now I also have here citron. Citron is the crystal of creativity, and it's related to the sacral. I realize that you tend to have a lot more air in your chart, and maybe finding that creativity and that passion can be a little harder for you, especially kind of just letting go. Like I said, you need to let go so that you could feel through your emotions, but also even to help you create. I feel like that's gonna be very, very important for you. I don't know if you're into writing, but maybe having some like having an intellectual outlet that also lets you kind of see things on paper is gonna be really, really great for you in the long run. Now, here's the crystal that I feel like is gonna steal the show. It's pink chalcedony. Now, pink chalcedony is for releasing heavy emotions. It's releasing past experiences. It's kind of like, it also like lessens emotional distress. So that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if you've like ended a relationship, or like mourning a relationship, or you kind of just thought about something or have gone through a loss, and now you need that emotional release rather than intellectualize it. This crystal is the one that called your name, and I feel like maybe it's kind of relating to where you are right now in your life. Now, let me tell you what decks I have down here. So down here I have the Past Life Oracle. Okay, so down here I have the Past Life Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue and Brian Weiss. And if you don't know who Brian Weiss is, he's like, I want to call him like the father of like past life regression therapy. He's very well known for his book Many Lives, Many Masters, and I highly, highly, highly recommend that book. It kind of started this whole like journey for me, and I really, really recommend it. This is how I got to where I am right now, doing this reading for you on my very squeaky chair. Now, the other deck that I use is, this is the, I'm sorry if you hear sniffing or noises in the back. My daughter and my dog are in here. This is the Psychic Tarot. Now, this Psychic Tarot, it's not like, sorry, my little dog needed to go to the bathroom as I was speaking about him. So the Psychic Tarot, it's not like your average tarot deck. I feel like if you don't know, it might be a little easier to read if you know like tarot, but it also might be a little hard if it's like your first time using like an actual tarot deck. It just depends on you. And then I have the Tried and the True. This is the, I'm sorry, my back. This is the Deviant Oracle deck. This was actually my very first tarot deck, and this has been the Tried and the True. It's a little trooper. So the way that I start my past life readings is I kind of freestyle it. I let whatever the universe wants me to tell you to obviously come forward. And I tell people, like, I don't know if you've ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. This is probably the best example. Whenever you have a problem or a situation, Aang would always call to one of his past lives because they've been into a similar situation. And this is very indicative of how your past life works. Problems will either be diminished or they will be amplified depending if you face them well or if you learn the lesson in a past life. And I feel like that's why you kind of get reoccurring themes like betrayal or heartache or like money issues. Like, you'll get those reoccurring themes playing out differently in your current lifetime. So yeah, so I always kind of ask like what past life is most related to what you're going through currently. So I'm gonna just, sometimes more than one can pop up, which then my reading is gonna be like 50 minutes long, and that's why I get so drained from them. But or sometimes it just could be one very long reading. It just depends on like what comes out basically. So let's see what comes out. Let's see. Oh. I feel like your soul has reincarnated as a... What did I say about finances? Interesting. I feel like your soul has reincarnated as a woman more than once. Ooh. But let's see. I feel like I said the number 9, right? I'm so sorry for the squeaky door. I'm about to throw it away. Anything else? Okay. I'm gonna try to see if there's one more in here. Okay, there's one more. So, ooh, this is a spicy story. Yes. What the heck? This is why I feel like this last group of people was a very heavy, like a very heavy time for me. I always tell people that, if you have a past life in Atlantis, you've probably been spiritual in more than one lifetime. Spirituality kind of follows you, and I feel like Atlantis is like the first, not the first lifetime, but it's definitely the most memorable if you do believe in Atlantis. Now, you have very interesting lifetimes, and I feel like this is going to be one of the harder reads for me just because of how the energy is. I'm so glad that I only worked a couple of hours today, like at my actual job, because I feel like this one's gonna be a doozy. I feel like I've reincarnated as a woman more than once. Yeah, and I'll tell you why. I'm getting very female energy from you, and it's not even because your sun is in Libra. But it's more so of what I'm getting playing out here. I'm gonna go towards the one that I feel the strongest calling to, which is this one, and then I'll review these with you later. If you see me lagging or struggling to say things, it's because I am receiving messages and I don't know how to put it into big girl words. If that makes sense. So I'm gonna just leave it here, and I'm actually gonna pull from the psychic here. Let's see, what do we have? You know, I said 9, but 6 could also be a really significant number for you. What did I say? Didn't I? What was the number that I picked up? Not the number, but the sacral chakra is here. And remember what I said about this. So I'm guessing like something like that creative energy has to come out somehow. And I feel like it's maybe you're experiencing some sort of like creative awakening in a sense, I want to call it. Okay, is that all I got to say? All right. Oh, sorry. So I have sacrifices here. I have sacral, and I have biblical, finances, sacral, passion ignited. I have sacrifice. Sorry, like one card comes, and then it's material and spiritual prosperity. So my love, I don't gotta tell you, I feel like you already know. Oh, and spiritual strength is here. Oh, didn't I say the number 9? I said the number 9. So, I'm sorry for the squeaky chair. So I'm gonna go into what I'm getting just from this picture, this like biblical picture. So I'm picturing like it's a woman. She has very long, dark hair. She keeps it covered in kind of like this form. And I'm not gonna lie to you, she kind of feels like a prostitute. Like, I feel like she's very beautiful and she knows how to make her money, and that's why I'm getting finances. I feel like in this lifetime you were very bent on not trusting anyone, and I'm not really sure why. I feel like you either ran away from your parents. I feel like your parents were like this, like, I don't know what your relationship is with your parents right now, or like, but I feel like it could have caused some disconnect. And well, then maybe that's what I'm getting sacral. The sacral rules the navel area, but I feel like this could have caused some disconnect between you and your parents in this lifetime. Like, you wanted to do your own thing, and not be so held back. I feel like the rules for you during this lifetime were hard to follow. That's that moon in Aquarian. But you had a hard time accepting that women needed to stay inside and kind of live this role of like, I want to know what your Venus is in. This is very interesting. And you were having a hard time kind of accepting these like mundane roles. Like, you did not see yourself as a housewife, so you kind of chose to retaliate. And I feel like sexuality and like creativity kind of went hand in hand for you. So it kind of only became natural that you did this. Now, this is in no mean and in no way degrading. I feel like she was very proud of what she did. Like, it feels like for the time she had good money. Like, she had enough to kind of like give herself a good life. She does look like she has some very high top clients. There is like, I don't know if you're particularly attracted to the color blue, but there's like, she wears this like very like, it's kind of like a, not even like an aqua, but it's like a very like light blue. It could be baby blue, and it's like a baby blue scarf that she wears. It's kind of like her symbol of wealth. Like, blue and purple were seen as like big symbols of wealth, and this is kind of her way of showing people like, yes, this is what I do, but I am also very wealthy of what I do. Now, she does get a lot of hate, so I don't know if you've had to like, I don't know if this is a current thing, but I feel like if you've had any past partners, their current partners will still dislike you even if you have no connection to that partner. And it could be just one, because of like this past life, or two, because of like some like inferiority complex that they have towards you and how you carry yourself. And I feel like this is who you got it from. Like, she feels very like, she's a very passionate woman, like, and it's not even passionate towards men. Like, this basically, men are her business. And I feel like the need for you to be in relationships right now kind of stems from her. And it's not even to like be with them. I feel like she just likes the feeling of being wanted and the feeling of people trying to secure her without her actually being in relationships with them. So I'm really wondering, your Venus isn't in Aquarius too, is it? Or in Aries? Because this woman just feels like she just likes to be wanted, and she just doesn't care to stick with one person, if that makes sense. So I feel like maybe in a sense you're being asked to like be more creative overall, but I feel like she has like a sexual creative energy going on with her. I feel like for her to get there though, there had to be a lot of sacrifices made. One, it's like the family dynamic with her. I feel like she had to shun them so that she could fully express herself. And maybe not shun your family now, but it's more kind of take a step back and stop letting people criticize what you want to do and how you're gonna do it. Because it's just gonna kind of like how do I put it? It's gonna delay your blessings. It's gonna delay your blessings if you let other people kind of dictate what you do. This is why she kind of like pushed everyone aside and said, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and it eventually, you know, gave her a good amount of prosperity. I feel like spiritual strength is here. I feel like whatever situation that you're going through, whether it's romantic, I feel like these two cards go hand in hand. And I'll tell you why right now. But I feel like whatever situation you're going through, you're gonna have to really dig into your spirituality to solidify yourself. I feel like maybe this is kind of like not a test, but it's kind of like I don't want to call it a test. I want to call it like this is, well, I'm just gonna call it a test, but I don't feel like that's the right word for it. This is kind of like an obstacle that's gonna lead you to being a better and stronger version of yourself. And that's where I'm getting like spiritual strength, but also material and spiritual prosperity. I feel like an idea is gonna come from this like spiritual state that you're gonna be in, or that you are currently in, that's going to help you along with your finances. And again, finances is here too. Finances has already presented itself twice, and maybe that's where the security card came in, like the security and stability. And that's why I remember I said that you might have to retreat internally. I don't remember everything that I said, by the way, because my brain just kind of farts after a while. But I feel like that's what it's kind of telling you. This woman lived a long life. She lived a long life, but she lived like more towards her ending. She did want a family, but eventually she realized it was kind of too late for that. So I feel like maybe right now you might be afraid of missing out on having like a full relationship with somebody if you aren't in a relationship with somebody. Or you could just be afraid to commit to somebody right away and then miss out on, you know, on the streets basically. But let me hop into the next lifetime. We're just jumping lifetimes right now. I knew this batch has been a special batch, and I'll tell you why this batch has been a special batch. I have not had one reading that has not had 3 past lives come in. I normally get like 1 or 2, and this time like I got 3. So Atlantis. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about both of these. Now Egypt sticks out for me a lot, and I'm going to tell you why. If you're specifically attracted to Egypt or that culture, I feel like, again, you're a woman. I feel like you've reincarnated as a woman more than once, but in this lifetime, I feel like you kind of lost your baby. Like, I feel a lot of sadness come from this lifetime, and I feel like your lesson in this lifetime revolved around letting go and kind of handing things over to a higher power. I feel like you were a very young woman. You're around the age of 23, and you kind of lost your child. I feel like the way this child was conceived in itself was questionable, because you weren't married. And I feel like the person that eventually gave you this child did not want to marry you because you were how do I say it? Not a virgin anymore? Yeah. I feel like this is so hypocritical. I want to see who this man is. I hope this man rots. I hope he didn't reincarnate. I feel like this could have been your first boyfriend. I don't know, but yeah, this person was like, I felt like, oh, it has to be a fire sign. Did you date a Sagittarius? Are you currently dating a Sagittarius? If you've been personally victimized by a Sagittarius, say I. All right, the lessons with this person revolved around patience and kind of knowing when it was over and it was time to let go, and that this person was not your wish fulfillment. Scarcity, I feel like this person could have made you feel like you weren't enough, or like yeah, or you weren't good enough for them, or you didn't have enough to give them. But this person is or was a fire sign. So I'm getting, I want to say it's Sagittarius. I'm getting such Sag energy. Yeah, so this person could be in Sagittarius, and it makes me feel like this person kind of just always made you feel like you weren't good enough for them, and you wanted them to be your wish fulfillment, but at the end of the day, they kind of just couldn't provide that for you. It feels like this person has a hugely inflated ego, and in this lifetime, he had a higher role than you. Like, you feel like just like a regular townsperson, and he kind of had like a guard duty or some duty that was higher than you. So I feel like maybe you could have met him at work and he could have been a manager, like whatever the circumstances were that you met him, or he could have been a little older than you, something that gave him a little bit more authority over you. And that's probably how you met them. And they kind of just took advantage of it. It very much feels like they took advantage of you being loving and kind, and they got you pregnant, and the baby, you eventually lost the baby. And it feels like you were very, very much in despair. It doesn't feel like you recovered from this. It feels like you kind of went the rest of your life not having kids, which I'm not sure if you want kids now, because I've already seen 2 of your lifetimes and you don't have kids in them. So I don't know if having kids is now really, really important to you, or you're afraid to have them. But it feels like and it feels like what you were gonna have as a girl. So I don't know if currently right now you have a daughter that you're very attached to, but yeah, it feels like the lessons revolved around you kind of healing from this loss. I feel like you replayed the loss over and over again, and it kind of pushed you back into not wanting to have kids. So I feel like being patient with yourself was a huge responsibility, or being patient with who you chose as a partner and who you chose to kind of be with. So kind of, ooh, sorry, I lose my train of thought. Who you chose to kind of be with was like an important thing for you. And right now, when choosing a partner, you have to be patient. I feel like as a Libra, you can just kind of want security over, you might want security over like a secure relationship rather than a loving relationship. But at the end of the day, I feel like you still have mental, emotional needs that need to be met as well. So yeah, this lifetime is a little harder. I feel like right now your lesson kind of revolves around being patient and kind of just doing what you feel is right for you. I feel like the financial part, especially in the financial portion, I feel like maybe you could be going into something right now that you're not completely sure of, which is really weird, because I did a reading like prior to this similar. That's kind of similar. Now Atlantis. I feel like Atlantis was more of you learning to let go. I feel like you were also a woman here, but you chose to leave Atlantis, like the sanctuary. I feel like for you, it kind of saved your life, because everybody that stuck around here drowned. In a more morbid sense of the word, but yeah, everybody that kind of stuck around here didn't have a happy ending. But I feel like you left to like mid-Asia, so you feel more I don't know if you're particularly attracted to Asian culture, but you definitely were like Lower Asia. I felt like this was a decision that you made because you felt like you weren't growing as fast as you should have been in your home, which obviously is Atlantis. You weren't growing as fast as you felt you needed to. So you felt like you needed to take the steps necessary by moving into a new environment. And I feel like maybe that's where you might be. Like, have you been trying to move out? Or just trying to like plan to move out of state or out of town? I feel like maybe the environment that you're in right now isn't allowing you to release and to like really, really like let you be. That's what I'm getting. Again, it's not allowing you to let you be. And I feel like maybe you've outgrown certain people or certain places. Oh. Yeah, that maybe you've outgrown certain people in certain places, and now it's like now it's time to like let go. Yeah, because look, I have awareness here. So it's kind of you being aware that you can't grow. Where have you heard like you can't grow? There's a saying that says like, don't plant flowers where, I don't know. Basically, you can't heal an environment that hurt you, and I feel like this is kind of like similar to it. It's like you can't grow in an environment that's like scarce, and I feel like maybe that's where you are right now. It's like conflict and defeat. I feel like maybe where you are right, and look, the color blue is here too, so I feel like that's intuition and healing. Maybe where you're at right now isn't giving you the space for you to heal and to deal with the situation that you're in. You could be with your family, or you could just be in like a unhealthy work environment. But whatever it is, there's a place that you feel like you're stuck in right now that isn't giving you that room to heal, that room to create. Financial and material changes. I feel like I did talk a little bit about that, right? When it came to security. I feel like right now you might just be making decisions on maybe how to move out or how to leave this job. I feel like it's a very how do I get here so I can give myself that. I feel like that's very, very indicative of what's going on in your life. And here, girl, here you just packed your bags and you were like, I'm out. Like, I feel like you had very little remorse in leaving things behind because you knew something better was going to come in. And I feel like maybe it's trusting that something better is out there for you. It might not appear to be that way right now, but I feel like in the long run, it's going to show itself to you. Now, I'm going to go into this little baby and see what message it has for you. Ooh, wow. Wow. Yeah, I'm just gonna, this one wanted to come out. So. What did I say? Simplicity. It's simplifying your life. Getting rid of the clutter and a standstill. That patience card was in here too. The standstill is telling you, like, I feel like it's telling you move, what is it? Make sure that each of your steps has purpose. That to plan to get to where you need to be, and then action is here too. So it's like simplify things, move with purpose, and then make the correct choices to get to where you need to be. I feel like that's exactly what it's telling me. I feel like with simplicity, it's like you can tend to make things harder than what they really are. You could tend to make more scenarios or give a lot more buts and whys when the answer could truly just be very, very simple. It's just kind of you stopping. I feel like that's what it is, kind of you just stopping all the extra noise, all the extra clutter, and just really, really just focusing, giving that standstill, and then, you know, being action oriented. I feel like maybe that's where you are in your life right now, and this is why you're receiving this at the time that you are receiving this. I feel like once you take action, things are going to be moving a lot more quicker. I'm still wondering if this is a Sagittarius, but yeah, I feel like after, things are just going to be moving a lot quicker for you, but you just have to make a plan for it and be patient, but be action oriented. Yeah. All right, so thank you, Lorena. Thank you for choosing me to be your reader. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me on Twitter, or you can just directly reply to this email. Thank you so much for your patience, honey, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.